All right. Hello, welcome to the Eurocentrist podcast. I have my friend Shane here who really, really wanted to be on the podcast because we're having a lot of fun. And this guy tells us about history that we don't know anything about. We don't know what's happening now. Please help us.
Muy bien. All right, Shane.
Hi.
Hey. All right, Aislinn, come on. No,
I've brought you into the lion's den.
I need to distinguish a real panic attack from a fake one, you know?
Yeah, you'll know if it's a real panic attack. This is fellow comedian Shane Callaghan. He is, how long have you been in the scene now?
1 year.
1 whole year.
No.
Already.
Yeah. Also, can you pull up that mic? Just force it up a little bit. More than you would, and then it should. Exactly. Oh,
it's
slowly falling. What the fuck?
Should we start
give
over?
it a real tight grip.
It's my force of gravity. I've got my own gravitational pull.
Yeah, a star is born.
All right, now it's staying up.
How are we doing? Good?
Perfect.
Right.
Oh, there we go. That man is professional from the get-go. I love it.
I'm terrified of burping because we're drinking a fizzy drink.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually not that bad.
I can edit that out. I can
No,
insert the wine boom sound.
Every time someone burps or sneezes or coughs.
Yeah, exactly.
Wine sound effect.
Yeah.
Can we swear?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh great. Okay, because
Everyone always asks that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because of, you get demonetized, but since we are not monetized yet,
exactly.
we don't give a fuck.
Do you get demonetized?
Oh yeah. It depends on the content and how many are watching it and who is actually doing the review process because YouTube, this is very boring inside football talk, but the YouTube doesn't do most of their reviews themselves, but they hire outside companies that skirt labor laws by hiring in the Philippines and stuff like that.
Contractors, independent contractors.
Yeah, and these guys have enormous mental health problems because they have to look at gore and stuff like that.
Hello, Philippines. How's it going?
They do that in Dublin.
5 guys who are watching
in Dublin too?
One of my neighbours, he was from the Netherlands, and we lived in central Dublin. It wasn't for you to... Google. Google have one of their centres in Dublin, and no one knows where it is, and their job is to...
Is this fucking Fort Knox? The fuck? Oh my god.
No, for real. And their job is literally to find... And his department dealt with animal mutilation.
Jesus
and
Christ.
They had to... He would spend out... But they got... free therapy. They'd 41 days off a year.
Yeah, because otherwise you're gonna kill yourself in 5 minutes.
They separate them by department.
And the kids one, no one knows where that one is.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Who would want?
Because there would be
people applying for the job.
Yeah, exactly.
That's weird.
You could not pay me
but
enough.
they would this would be like the best.
If you are a pedophile, this would be the job for you.
Dream job.
It's like how Dexter is a serial killer that kills other serial killers. We need a TV show about a pedophile that busts other pedophiles to catch a predator style. Or either that, or we need Chris Hansen to come out as a pedophile in order
the younger get stronger and the older get weaker or something. I don't know.
Are you thinking about the I grow old but they stay the same age?
Yeah. I want a slogan for the TV show.
We get older but they stay. Just shamelessly rip off the Dazed and Confused quote, and that'll be the tagline.
I'm just imagining if you left that job and went to another job, like if you just became the manager of Starbucks or something, and they're like, "Can you tell us about your previous job?" Well, basically, like how do you go into that? Like how your strengths and weaknesses.
It seems like somebody with like PTSD, like it's like you dealing with an ex-marine or something like that.
Yeah,
I was gonna say they probably have like a code phrase. Like people who worked for like the CIA can't just be like, "Yeah, I worked for the CIA until
I was in the foreign service or something like that."
Yeah, I don't know what they call it.
I did some work on the internet.
I did work overseas for the U.S.
publicity.
Yeah.
Well, the special American special forces people in Slovakia where I live, they say that they're electricians.
What the fuck? Why?
They come to all my comedy shows and they sit in the front and all the hosts are always like, so what do you do? And they're like, I'm an electrician. And then they ask them electrician related questions and they can't answer.
That is the worst cover story.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I love that the American military is so overfunded and yet so underqualified for anything. Like the CIA just gave fucking money to anyone who said that they hated communists.
It's a money pit.
It's a money pit. It's like the fucking hospital that we talked about last episode.
Yeah. It's like the AKH, but instead of getting a hospital out of it, you get, a car bomb once in a while.
Yeah, you get terrorist attacks. You get 9/11s.
Complimentary car bomb.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a cool band name. Complimentary car bomb.
Oh, that is a good Irish band. Yeah. Yeah, first album is called The Troubles or Not.
What are your thoughts?
Or troubled upbringing, something like that, like...
we're in trouble. Yeah.
In your head.
In your car.
There's a bomb. Get fucking out.
Oh, God. Stuck in traffic.
So if the viewer hasn't noticed yet, Shane, you are Irish.
I hope we edit the fuck out of that.
Oh yeah, for sure we're gonna edit this.
What are you talking about, Timmy?
Yeah. He does have a tendency to keep the most unfortunate bits in the final cut. So
I love it.
He loves that.
Look, I want to cultivate a certain kind of weirdo audience, and I think we're doing a really good job so far. But yes, you are Irish.
I am.
Are you 100% Irish?
Totally.
So you're
pure-blooded Irish.
like Celtic Irish.
Yeah, like I did the what you call the 23andMe,
Yes.
and I sent off the DNA thing, and they just sent me back a pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
And a Ryanair voucher.
Because Austria and Ireland have shared history. We are of the same people, the Hallstatt people. The Celtics came from the region that is now Austria and southern Bavaria. And
I don't know that. Huh?
Yeah, the oldest thing is the Hallstatt chariot, isn't it, or something?
Yes, very good.
We
very
do.
good.
Yeah, we do.
Oh my God, we have our first educated person on the podcast. Before that, it's all idiots.
It's all just been big dummy dum-dums. Yeah. Even though fucking David has like a title.
Yeah.
He's got like a PhD or something.
Or a master's degree.
Or he's got a master's degree, but he's just like...
Hey, he's funny. That is his excuse. But
you're moving out. I'm sorry. I'm obsessed with that.
That is a really backhanded way of insulting Shane, by the way. But
yeah, stop being too fucking educated.
I'm fine.
You're making me look bad. No.
But yes,
for those people that can't see, I am funny and educated, but I'm really unattractive.
So we don't know each other that well, but I want to check a few things before. So yes, you're Celtic. Do you still speak the old ways?
Gaelic, you have to do it in school. It's obligatory.
Yeah, I know, but most people forget it.
Yeah,
it's like French.
Yeah, but we learn
Even
it.
the French people forget that one. That's not the same language.
The French are just walking around France going, quoi?
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten all of it, but I was nowhere near my English. But yeah, I could do it.
Okay,
like, I feel like you're going to test me now.
No. I'm not going to poke your tongue. Or whatever however it's pronounced.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You said that like that's a normal saying in English.
It's like a t-shirt when I was in Ireland.
No, poke Mahone.
There we go.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, poke your tongue. What the fuck?
No, poke Mahone, kiss my ass.
See, I'm not that bad.
I suppose you are of the same people.
I know a little bit of Gaelic.
Like, putting the gay in Gaelic, am I right?
Also, the irony of having a native language called Gaelic.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm like, all
right. The first girl I ever slept with, her real name, not a joke, is Gayford. That's her last name. Not a joke.
The bullying in school.
Oh, it's incredible. And
Unlimited.
She's a lesbian. She like, of course, like.
She manifested some destiny.
Exactly. Oh my God.
How familiar are you with Irish history in that case?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I studied history all the way through school, and we had these two books. It was really cool. We I think they've changed it now.
That is the poorest Irish thing I've ever heard. We had 2 books. And we had to share them between 12 of our siblings.
We had to consume them during the famine.
Don't give them to Coal Mine Jimmy because his fingers are gonna get the pages all unreadable.
The ancient books. No, we have so it's 1868 to 1968, Irish and Europeans. We did an Irish one and a European one. But the coolest thing was, in the Irish one, the British are the villains.
Right.
Like, the British are awful. But then in the European one, we're obviously doing the Second World War. So the British are like the heroes. And you finish the course going, I do not know how to feel
That's why you guys were neutral during the Second World War.
Yeah, they don't know how to. So our teacher called it the Love England book and the Hate England book.
That's actually a really good title. But I feel like it's kind of disingenuous because England is always the bad guy. Even in World War II, kind of in regards to what they did to Israel.
Right afterwards to India.
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
That too.
And also World War One. Like there's like a myriad of reasons why you should hate the British, especially spawning their worst sequel, the United States of America, which is just
USA.
It is the amazing Spider-Man 2 of empires. The only good thing about it is Andrew Garfield. Like,
who's British?
Garfield is British.
I know. Yeah. That's the best thing about that.
Go fuck yourself, Paul. You will never work in this town.
Irish supremacy here.
Irish supremacy. I am ethnically Irish, but I bow to superior.
So I've saved this for our first real Irishman.
I'm so excited.
I'm hoping that you don't know the name. Does the name Bernardo O'Higgins ring a bell?
Oh my god, he just ran in.
No, it sounds
Perfect.
like an Italian pizzeria.
I was gonna say, but like they were a pub before, but they decided to keep the rebranding.
They were a pub that decided to sell pizza.
Yeah,
but they do really good coffee.
Yeah.
So I think Ben outdid himself here. So we're starting with a quote. Vivir con honor o morir con gloria, el que sea valiente que me siga. Live with honor or die with glory. He who is brave, follow me. Bernardo O'Higgins, allegedly.
I like the gusto you pronounced that with.
I asked my wife first if I didn't fuck it up.
Is that Italian or Latin? That's Italian.
Oh, it's Spanish, my friend.
Oh,
I was gonna say it sounded Spanish. Yeah, I was gonna say what the fuck.
I speak Spanish. Oh, that's terrible.
So,
Bernardo O'Higgins.
Yes.
You used to live in Spain too, so this is actually perfect.
Okay,
for
yeah.
you.
This is me.
This is actually the story of his life.
All right, Bernardo O'Higgins Riquelme was born on 20th August 1778 in Chilean, a small village in southern Chile, which at the time was part of the Viceroyalty of Peru and thus the Spanish Empire. His father, Ambrose Bernard O'Higgins, was an Irishman born in County Sligo, or Meath, according to some sources. You know any about those?
Sligo, yeah.
Sligo, sorry.
Yeah, Sligo's
that
lovely.
sounds like a fucking Star Trek villain. I will catch you next time, Sligo.
Benedict Cumberbatch plays him in the Star Trek sequel.
I've never heard of him though.
Okay, but Sligo rings a bell.
Oh, Sligo's a county. Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, it's lovely. All right, so he left a good part of Ireland.
It was poor.
Chile.
It would have been very poor at that time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
At that time, so the whole country
1720, around 1720. Yeah, he was born in County Sligo. Yeah. Ambrose got his education in Spain, which was actually quite common for Irishmen at the time, due to Protestant Brits not really being inclined to give Catholics any opportunities. So the racism tree grows far and deep.
Yeah, we used to have this thing called bush schools, which is a school in a bush.
No, you're fucking with me right now.
No, it's true. It's true.
You're fucking with me.
No, it's true. It's Catholics would meet at a bush.
No.
Yeah, you can Google it.
God.
I literally don't believe you, but that's so
future
funny.
episode material. Future episode material is bush.
I thought
bush
this was going to be like residential schools, but like for Catholics instead of Native Americans.
Or even like, Australians renaturating to Ireland,
Sure, I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
They're coming back from the bush.
They would learn how to read because Catholics weren't allowed to go to school. And
Right.
I remember in our history class, one guy, Quinton was his name, put his hands up and started laughing, going, why were people in Ireland so stupid? Why didn't they have tree schools? Because you could stand under a tree. Like, why would you stand next to a bush? But
Are you fucking serious? This is a real thing?
Totally. Completely real thing.
Also, the fucking British stole all that lumber because they needed it for their shipyards.
Yeah.
So, and they needed the grazing land for all the sheep. All right. Ambrose became an engineer and eventually joined the Spanish army in that capacity. Rising through the ranks, in 1764, he became the assistant of John Garland, another Irishman who served as military governor of Valdivia in southern Chile. Here, Ambrose came to be known as Don Ambrosio.
Why? Okay, Don Ambrosio. They're all in Chile right now, but he's got all this education.
And that's the dad. We're talking about the dad.
This is the dad. Okay,
yeah.
All right.
A respectful title awarded him due to his many achievements. As Brian McGinn wrote, quote, Ambrose might well be called Chile's postal hero, or the Irishman who brought the mail to Chile.
Okay.
Wow, I did not know this. This is cool.
On his first harrowing journey over the Andes Mountains, separating Argentina and Chile during the winter of 1763 to 64, Ambrose conceived the idea of a chain of weatherproof shelters. By 1766, thanks to O'Higgins' efficient execution of this plan, Chile enjoyed all-year overland postal service with Argentina, which had previously been cut off for several months each winter. Brian McGinn from the Southern American Irish roots, number 28. Yes.
I mean,
so he built. So basically, letters would come in to Argentina, and
keep them from
then
getting wet.
and then be stuck for 4 months. Yeah.
So he built. Okay, so he constructed shelters along the track.
Yeah, so you can like hide out if the weather got real rough, I guess, and also warm up, I suppose. Again, the End Mountain go real far up there, So
I was gonna say, like, 'cause they're talking about weatherproof structures. I'm thinking, like, yeah, you don't. That would be really convenient, but like, how do you do that? It would be really nice to have weatherproof things. How are you going to actually do that?
I love that it's an Irish engineer, though. Just in Chile, like, come on, lads, come on.
We will innovate anywhere but within our home country because the English will steal it.
Yeah, exactly. Literally,
That is true.
And
Out of spite.
The people of Chile don't know anyone else, so they're like, I guess you must be the best at doing this. Coming up next, Irish chefs. We could have given them our cuisine any day.
All right. Becoming governor of Concepcion in 1777, certainly in no small part due to his success in defeating indigenous uprisings. Oh, so he's also a war criminal.
Wait,
nice,
what?
Nice.
Indigenous uprisings.
Ambrose O'Higgins met Simon Riquelme, a well-respected, well-to-do local farmer, and naturally, with him being only the tender age of around 57 at the time, Don Ambrosio courted Simon's 18-year-old daughter Isabel.
I feel like it can't be a decent historical story unless you have a man who's like 112 marrying
in 17
a war criminal who's 112.
Yeah.
Well, back then you would be regarded as a hero.
Yeah, but we're not in that time now.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. No.
He's still a creep. Like,
Oh yeah, he's an enormous
But
creep.
he is in that time, and that's why he gets hot 18-year-olds.
But that's the thing, right? Is people think that back then people were just okay with like huge age gaps, but that's not actually true. Like, people were definitely judgmental about it. There's paintings that...
I mean, the Catholic Church,
No, but you know the one painting where there's the really young bride and the old man? Like,
right.
That's very clearly supposed to be, like, criticizing that sort of structure.
Fair enough,
It's definitely was not normal, which makes me even more furious. It's like, so you knew it was bad and you still did it anyway.
the man had apparently... Look, if you're a governor, you have money. And if you want to intermarry, as I think the dad is to blame as well, because he is like, all right, I want an alliance with this O'Higgins guy.
I've got my daughter. I can trade.
Yeah, exactly.
Her
It's a bargaining chip as well, so it's not great. You know, it's not all around not great men.
Women aren't people.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Yeah, Isabel, my belle. Although he, at least allegedly, promised to marry her as a European officer, he had to get permission to marry a local woman. But there's no record that he ever even tried, and he never saw Isabel again.
Wait, so that's not... What? Why did we learn about this then?
He did manage to leave the teenager knocked up, though, which brings us to Bernardo.
Oh my god, it's scandalous.
Oh my god! Where the fuck is Maury Povich? When you need him? You fucking
Ambrose, you are the father.
Oh! And then he immediately runs all the way to wherever the fuck he is now.
Yeah, and the letters will actually reach him now because he set up that great mail system. You know, he can't ditch.
He can't ditch this unless he wants to abandon the entire nation of Chile.
Dong ditched.
Ding
Isabel.
dong ditched?
No, in this case, dong ditched. Isabel.
The ding dong ditching.
So not just killing indigenous people and setting up the mill and also being a crip. He's also an absent father. Nice.
Yeah.
We've got a full picture of the dad, I think.
I do enjoy that he's not just a complete victim or villain. Like, you get the, he's a
complicated guy.
Yeah. Complicated. I mean, we all need male.
We all love anti-hero, a good anti-hero.
Yeah.
It's like Taylor Swift said,
anti-hero.
It's me. I'm the problem.
He would have loved Taylor Swift.
He would have been a Swiftie.
He would have been a Swiftie.
He would have really liked Taylor Swift's current boyfriend or last boyfriend, Matt Healy, because of how racist apparently he is.
Oh, really?
Have you not heard about this?
No, I have not.
Oh my god, what the fuck? That's like a huge thing.
All
Just
right.
look up Maddie
Paul's
Healy.
like, stop talking queer people about Taylor Swift. And let me get back to
It's bad for the algorithm.
We'll just get... What do you mean Taylor Swift is good for the algorithm?
Can we just really quickly, before we continue, can we just really quickly sing all the Taylor Swift songs?
Get copyright struck.
All right, guys.
All right, so this guy sucks as a father.
Yes, the circumstances of his birth not exactly strongly agreeing with Catholic sensibilities of the time. As a baby, Bernardo was given to a local matron, while his mother was married to an old friend of her father's, Don Felix Rodriguez, who died 2 years later, leaving Isabel with her daughter, Donna Rosa Rodriguez Riquelme.
What? How old was the other guy? Does it say?
No, just an old friend of her father. So I'm assuming also an old dude.
I was gonna say an old friend of the father's, unless she.
I mean, the guy died in.
Unless he had it coming, if you know what I mean.
He had a shorter expiration date than a can of tomatoes that I buy at the superstore.
Well, the life expectancy back then, you wouldn't know. And maybe he was collecting the mail on the mountains.
Yeah. You gotta. He died in a mail collecting accident.
And it's the aunts, so there's a bunch of coca leaf going around probably too. They chewed coca leaf to run through the Andes, so
because they didn't have cocaine yet. The Andes, yeah.
Andes?
I think it's the Andes.
Yeah, that's Chile and Argentina, it's the Andes,
yeah. Okay, all right. Don Ambrosio, meanwhile, while never openly acknowledging him, did take enough interest in his illegitimate son, who was, to the best of our knowledge, his only child, to have the baby taken away from home and sent to his friend Juan Albano Pereira Marquez in Talca, approximately 250 kilometers north of Chillán. So he actually does, like, from afar help his son.
I guess so, but the complexity here is, right, first of all...
Is this Irish Catholic guilt kicking in?
Think? Better late than never.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we have really bad guilt.
Yeah.
Catholic, but that's not Irish. I think that's just Catholics. Catholics and Jews, I think, have that in common. Feel terrible about everything.
That's true. But that's what makes them very famously funny groups of people.
Very funny groups of people, absolutely. Yeah, Irish people are hilarious. But this, you know what? If I was banging so many people up and then having them illegitimate and people were dying all the time, Wouldn't you just have a convention of naming people a bit easier, like just Linda or Sean? Why do they need to have 45 names? So if you run into
them, you don't forget the name.
You don't forget the name.
They're still in Chile, right? They still have to name them after the saints or something.
Oh yeah. Works. Oh yeah, no. Catholicism reverberates through the whole thing.
So they actually do have a conveyor belt of a convention of names.
Yeah. But some of these names sound like ingredients. Like there's just like
foreign spices.
55 names. I'm like, wait, who? It's like at the end of a Marvel movie when you see the credits going up, like too many people have worked on this film.
What it bothers me...
This is something I trade with in Settlers of Catan, you know? Like,
what bothers me is there's all these names and then there's O'Higgins afterwards. just it's imbalanced.
Again, you know? I chose this topic mostly because of the name. When I read the name, I was like, this is already funny.
Bernardo O'Higgins.
Yeah, so he's half Chilean, half Irish.
Yeah. I like that it took you so long to come up with it. We have one of them right here.
I know. All right. Don Ambrosio, meanwhile, became governor and captain general of Chile and seems to have done a fine job as such, erecting dikes to prevent the...
Electing what?
Erecting dikes to prevent the Mapocho River from flooding the capital city. So
That's
he's erecting dikes to make something dry, actually. So
obviously the word dike is very funny. I just think when it's put in front of the word erecting.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean,
I'm assuming Ben chose those words on purpose, huh? Sorry.
I said women get erect too.
Yeah. There's a bit of yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Do they?
I mean, in our own special way.
Yeah.
It's our special erection.
All right. So he built some dikes, rebuilding the city of Osorno, abandoned due to constant indigenous attacks, improving both the infrastructure and trade with neighboring Spanish colonies, and abolishing the encomienda system, which had forced indigenous people to work for and pay tax to the colonists. So yeah, basically slavery. Yeah. So he abandoned slavery. Again, there's some good with the bad with Don Ambrosio.
Don Ambrosio. That's
we're still talking about the dad.
He killed indigenous people. But also was nice enough to set them free and make them not pay taxes.
Yes, he's the South and the North during the Civil War.
Well, he's just the North because the North was also racist.
Oh yeah, true.
This is
but without the internal conflict, he just like, maybe this is shitty. Like he just agreed with himself.
Yeah, maybe he was like, you know what, slavery's kind of bad, but I still want to kill people if I don't like them.
Yeah.
Right. I'm killing you because of you personally, not because you're indigenous.
Yeah, it's not because I want you to work. Yeah.
If I wanted you to work, actually, I don't want you to work. I hate slavery so much that I'm just going to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Exactly, yeah. Hated slaves so much, just wanted to get rid of them.
Yeah, exactly. Eradicate.
These foreigners are taking our jobs.
Just a slightly more extreme version of anti-slavery that is actually probably worse than slavery.
Yeah, it is pretty fucked up.
Right. It would be bad if the next sentence said, and then he privatized prisons. You know,
no, that would just be American.
Yeah, exactly. All right. You had to get the idea from somewhere. In spite of doing much to aid his son's education from afar, Don Ambrosio never actually met Bernardo in person.
All right. That's sad.
Again, Irish guilt or Catholic guilt. Right? You do want to help him, but you don't want to meet him because of the shame.
Yeah, and then also kind of like typical man, throw money at the situation.
Right?
Money at the situation.
Rich guy, especially.
Rich guy. And also, around this time, you were sort of encouraged not to be affectionate with your children at all. Because it's not Victorian times, but the 1800s, so...
I mean, you need that distance because you're going to go through a bunch of them normally.
Yeah, you don't want to get too attached.
He's a sniper. Ambrosio is a sniper.
A financial sniper.
Not just a financial sniper.
He made one child and that child lasted. That's not normal in 1770.
A bastard child, especially.
All right. Later the young Bernardo was sent back to Chilean to a school run by the Franciscans of the Mapuche aristocracy. The monarchism of the priests in Chilean was in opposition to new ideas born of the French Revolution, which, even in this remote part of the world, were beginning to wield influence. In Chilean, Bernardo briefly saw his mother again, but was soon, at age 15, moved on again by his father, this time to Lima, the vice-regal capital, where the young Chilean was educated at the best schools available. At one school, the Convictorio Carolino, Bernardo was probably first heard the ideas of the European Enlightenment. One of the priests, Toribio Rodriguez de Mendoza, was a remarkable Enlightenment man who believed in the power of mathematics, in the notion that he and his students were more Peruvian than Spanish. But yet again, Bernardo had to leave, this time for a pressing reason. Ambrose had been nominated Viceroy of Peru in 1796, and an illegitimate son was not good for his reputation.
What does it mean to be a viceroy?
You're the king's direct voice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like the vice president, really, kind of, yeah.
But you're in charge of like 6 colonies at the same
way
time.
more power than the vice president actually has.
Yeah, you get to kill people. Like the death sentence is still in effect at this point, so he can, like, you know, if you did something that
he can finish what his father started with the indigenous population.
Oh, it's still the dad. The dad
this is still the dad?
The dad became viceroy. He had to move. The son had to move from Lima.
He's damaging.
Yeah. Because of the. All right. So this was from Alfredo Sepulveda, Bernardo O'Higgins, the rebel son of a viceroy in Irish Migration Studies in Latin America.
Okay.
Issue 4 October 2006, and you can get it online. All right. Thus Bernardo moved, or rather was moved, to Cadiz, Spain. So he moved to Spain all the fucking way from Peru.
That's how you did
and
not.
The canal is not even there yet.
Oh,
so you have to go through the
all the like Trinidad and all the islands of the Caribbean.
Can you imagine how insulting that is?
Oh,
like,
you want to go that way? That works too. But I would have gone over the Horn of Good Hope.
Oh yeah, true.
And then get that way to Spain.
Yeah.
Both of those suck.
Yes, for sure.
I think he would have went by land to Venezuela.
That's what I'm thinking.
Through the mountains, and I mean, there's no road system. I mean, maybe.
Well, if the dad, wait, no, it's not the dad transporting him.
I mean, kinda. I'm guessing. Hey, if you're getting sent away by your dad,
No. If you're getting sent away by your viceroy dad, who has control,
he hopefully covers for the
he at least gets somebody else to do his dirty work. I would assume.
Oh yeah.
And you would hope that
worst road trip ever with your dad. You're like
slightly awkward,
stuck on a boat for 3 months. You know.
It's like, oh son, I'm gonna drop you off here.
There you go. Mind how you're going.
See you never. Bye.
He awkwardly rolls down the sail.
So I guess that's it. I feel though, like if his viceroy dad was like, first of all, how bad is it that someone's like, I need you to like not really be here because it's a bit embarrassing. Can you go across the ocean?
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm gonna stay here.
Back then, that's
move half a planet's worth of.
And it's not even like he's going back. Like he is going back. No, he's gonna make the kid go back. That's
a lot.
Yeah.
And then I would hope that Bernardo was like, do you know what? I will totally do this because you've paid for my education, but I want to go backpacking, so take me to Japan and go back that way. Go to the Middle East. Go through the Middle East.
I want to go to India.
I want to see what sushi tastes like.
He's getting a Euro ticket.
Yeah, just get like a fast pass, sail and rail.
I want to go to New Zealand.
Gonna stop off in Hawaii.
Oh, that was perfect timing too. Just throw it away for now.
Yeet.
Nice.
Okay. It didn't
yeah, amazing. That man knows how to treat his son.
Again, like he abandoned his son on expert mode.
And then he yeeted him to another continent.
He yeeted him to another continent. That's how badly he abandoned his son.
He's like, please die during the journey. Please die during the journey.
Yeah. I love that they're in Peru and the dad's like, is there anywhere else except Peru that speaks Spanish? And he's like,
that's far enough away.
In Peru. He's like, I know, Spain. And you're like, literally every other thing around you would have been an option.
Well, no, because then you might run into him if you're too close. But not if you're separated by a literal ocean. You're definitely not going to run into him. That's how badly he wanted to abandon his boy. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Whether this latter move happened of his own accord or his father's, and for what exact purposes, is apparently unknown, as this period of Bernardo's life is generally badly documented. What is known is so he went backpacking. Definitely,
he definitely went backpacking.
Opium dens in China,
Thailand, full moon party in Thailand.
But how old is he right now?
He's going to be like in his 20s, right?
Something like that.
Because he's educated at uni.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywhere between, I guess, 17 and something like that.
Also, side note, he was educated by Franciscans. There's Franciscans in my town now. Franciscans are like the hippies of Jesuits are like the hardcore, like super educated people. So I think Bernardo's quite cool. I might be
so
wrong.
So far, cool dude. Yeah.
I'm involved.
All right.
Yeah.
What is known is that he lived with watchmakers Spencer and Perkins, who might have been affiliated with De La Cruz in Richmond upon Thames, southwest London, and at least towards the end of his stay, he attended and possibly lived at a private Catholic academy run by a dude named Timothy Ailes, where he basically took a liberal arts course, including French, geography, music, history, and painting.
I knew it. They're hippies. They're the hippies. I knew it.
And allegedly courted Timothy's daughter, Charlotte, though nothing came of it.
Oh, no. Okay.
This is what he looked like while doing all that, by
Yes,
the way.
this is Bernardo, so you have a visualism. Yeah, that is Bernardo.
That's him.
Oh, no way. I love that he went to Spain and studied like Catholicism and experimental dance.
Yeah. He took a cooking class.
Interpretive dance.
I love it.
This is his eat, pray, love journey.
Oh,
basically.
totally. If he
on
was-
his abandoned father's dime.
And he could send back really annoying Instagram pictures by mail because his dad invented the mail.
Yeah, he can bother him year round.
Yeah, he could send him postcards, updates that no one asked for.
Yeah,
Oh,
passive
and
aggressive.
also, hitting him up for cash once in a while.
Oh yeah, you could basically you're fair game. Anything you want if you abandon your kid like that.
All right. I mean, he's getting a free education, which at that time, that is something exclusive, and for the Irish especially.
I suppose that's
So,
true. Yeah.
whether because of financial problems or because Bernardo was a party boy, Spencer and Perkins eventually stopped supporting him and had to stay with friends during the last months of his life in London.
This is like HBO's Girls, if you remember. Boys. This is Boys. People are like, why? I want to do Girls, but a male version. This is that. This is.
I want you to go into a studio and sell that. It's like Girls, except it's in like the 1720s and it's in like Chile, but they're all Irish. And then like the finale Spain, and it's all in like Catholic churches, but it's exactly like Girls.
Yeah, it's exactly like.
It's called Hombres.
And it's still starring Lena Dunham. And make it as problematic as possible.
Kim Cattrall is going to be in it
Cattrall!
as a nun.
Lena McDunham. Okay, all right.
Okay, sorry, go on.
Tip of the hat. It was also during this time that Bernardo met Venezuelan revolutionary Francisco de Miranda, famous juice manufacturer. No. Who had fought the British in the American Revolution and served in the army of revolutionary France, and was now trying to assemble a team of Latin American revolutionaries. To this end, he had formed a Masonic lodge, which Bernardo now joined.
So-
What's a Masonic lodge?
Yeah,
Like
the Masons, the
Freemasonry?
Freemasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
The lodge is just your local hangout, basically, for the Freemasons.
Okay.
There's like 2 or 3 in Vienna still. If you wanna go, we can. I might know a dude. I'm not allowed to divulge any information, obviously, but I know a dude who knows a dude. So if
what
we
do
want,
the Freemasons do? I've always been confused
so
about this.
so. The problem is it's been like, conspiracy theorists have
Yeah.
taken it over, but really it was just so you can speak your free mind during the Enlightenment age. That's how they got founded, because you're like, normally the king would just kill you if you even spoke about like something like democracy or other like weird concepts,
Yeah.
like
What
maybe there's
about
another
now?
god or whatever, or there's no god,
But, like,
that
what
all of
about
that
now?
stuff would get you killed back then.
Well, is Freemasonry just like QAnon people then? Like,
No,
what
no, the
fuck?
opposite.
No, it's I think that the historical aspect of it is like really enlightened, but in the modern world they still do exist as an organization that nobody really knows what's for, like Hell's Angels.
No, I know what they're for. I know what
yeah?
they're for. At
He's
least
just not allowed to tell us.
No, with Austrian. No, because again, they're still doing the shtick from 300 years ago, where they're like, oh, we're gonna get prosecuted or whatever. No.
They're cosplaying as a
yes.
minority group.
Yes, exactly, to a certain degree. But also, it's still a place where class doesn't matter, where free thought and free exchange of information is important, and you're just there to like talk, basically, like just hang out. It's like a not Bears Club. What are they called? The gentlemen's, not Gentlemen's Club. That's a strip club.
Yeah.
But these gentlemen's like
Like a salon.
Yeah, salon. Yeah, it's basically
where
that.
everyone's drinking absinthe and doing coke and talking about fucking psychoanalytic
Most of those
theory.
were Freemasons too.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. But wait, so this guy is definitely not just trying to spread the free, like he's definitely not trying to create a free marketplace of ideas. He is very actively trying to recruit people for war.
Yeah,
this guy
but
just
also
loves this shit.
to stomp the Catholics and especially stomp the British and Spanish supremacy of the region.
Basically.
I'm totally okay with that.
He just likes a good revolution.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he does.
Guys, who's up for a revolution?
Revolution.
They're all just sitting around smoking, going, you know what I miss? A revolution.
No, those were the good old days. I'm always having a cigarette after a good revolution.
All right.
So revolution is when I turn over my fuckboy.
That's what the Freemasons are getting up to.
Yeah.
But
I'm guessing. I think sexuality was also a thing where it's like
I can
okay-ish. It depends on where you look at the Masons. Again, it wasn't like a super structured through thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Can we get the?
Oh, you want some rejuicing?
I would like a rejuicing, please.
All right.
This episode is brought to you by a random drink from Switzerland that I quite like.
Yeah, and I told you that you were gonna like. It's really good.
You did tell me it's gonna like.
It doesn't sound like it would be good, but that's why I start off with that so that you can be pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to do a two-parter, by the way, because we're only like 3 pages into like 14.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, is it? We're talking too much.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun, right? This guy is a ton of fun.
But
apparently he parties so hard that he got kicked out of a watchmaker's like.
But he said.
Well, I feel like that's not. But watchmakers don't seem like ravers.
Like yeah.
I wouldn't think.
Guys, we have to get home. Come on.
Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is?
Oh, I do.
Which in 1720, like that is something
that is pretty
extraordinary.
impressive. Yeah, but like we have to go home. It's late. I decide when it's late.
So he parties so hard
it's the sundial, you know.
He parties so hard that he joins a cult, kind of.
Yes.
But like a fun,
Yeah, the fun,
woke
cool
cult.
Yeah. Not like he's a gym bro now. But But this
he's
muscle.
an enlightened. So he's a Joe Rogan fan. Basically.
Yeah. Sure. Let's put it that way.
He's been red pilled.
All right. In 1798, the same year that Chile was made its own viceroyalty, separate from Peru, Bernardo moved back to Spain, where he met and befriended the future liberator of Argentina, José de San Martín, at least according to some sources. Others claim they first met years later during Bernardo's time in Argentina. But so at any point he met a successful revolutionary, basically. In 1800, the year his 80-year-old father, Jesus Christ.
I mean, he was fucking old as hell when he impregnated her.
Still, you are.
That means he's like
in 1800. If you're 80, you're 120 now.
Yeah, true.
This man is so old,
especially if you're not. Even though he is quite rich and successful, like he's not even royalty. Like royalty didn't live that long.
True.
So
true.
And he's Irish.
Yeah. We're crap at living long. We're not great.
Yeah. But terrible life
especially back
expectancy.
then, where it's like you didn't have water to drink. You just had whiskey and like whatever.
That's why he lived so long. He could afford the whiskey supply.
Probably.
Do you know whiskey in Irish is ishkabeha, and that literally means holy water?
Oh, that's amazing.
That sounds so fake. But
it's totally true. Ishkabeha is like blessed from God.
Oh
that is amazing. All right. In 1800, the year his 80-year-old father, Don Ambrosio, was retired from service due to his advanced age and bad health, Bernardo decided to return to Chile, but his ship was captured by the Brits, and he was briefly imprisoned in Gibraltar.
Oh, shit.
He had a layover in Gibraltar.
Going to Chile, layover in
Jesus
Gibraltar.
Christ.
That's like going from Austria to China and just like stopping in Switzerland. Yeah. It's just next door. Just the next thing.
They stopped him at the border. They're like, you shall not go further. You're under arrest.
Do you carry any Irish in you?
Gibraltar.
Yes. Subsequently, he made his way back to Cadiz, but came down with yellow fever and almost died.
Almost? He's 80 years old.
No. We're talking about the son.
Oh, okay.
It's his return trip now. He got captured in Gibraltar, and now he got yellow fever.
Also,
which back then really fucked.
That was really shit. But also, if anyone Googles it, like if you look at where Cadiz is on the map and then look at Gibraltar, that is like literally 10 minutes in a boat. Like that is literally. It's like that's like leaving your house and getting caught at the end of the road. That is so shit. That if you Google Cadiz and Gibraltar, you could swim it. Like that is so crap. It's just awful.
He like looks out of the window from the prison cell and sees it where he
got caught. Literally, yeah, you can see Gibraltar. That's just so crap. so next stop, Atlantic Ocean.
All right.
Yellow fever.
Yes, and almost that. Which is what his father actually did in 1801. So his dad is dead now. Shortly before his demise, Don Ambrosio had written to Nicolas de la Cruz saying that he was no longer responsible for his son, probably because of Bernardo's affiliation with the de Miranda. Hence, it came as quite the surprise to Bernie that his father actually left him a generous inheritance and a good amount of land on the Mapuche frontier of southern Chile, where Bernardo had been born, called Hacienda Las Canteras, just outside LA. And by LA, I mean Los Angeles, Chile.
Hollywood.
So interesting, like redemption arc dad here.
I mean,
I'm dying, but one last thing.
Yeah, I don't support anything you believe or think, or even the fact that you exist, but here is all of my earthly possessions, which is my only value to you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But you know what the thing
also
is?
a bit wordy for last.
He's got to get it worded.
A bit last wordy.
Come on, Dad, hurry up.
I got a watchmaker.
Lots to do. But I always think in these types of stories, like where you have a really bad character at the end, like leaves all of his money and all of his riches to like his one son. There was no one else to leave it to.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And
this is not a redemption arc.
Oh yes.
No,
not
and
the church. Normally, what you would do in this case is you would leave it to the church.
I don't know how much he liked the church, and he
apparently.
didn't. I think he would have thought he clearly didn't like any of the native people either.
Yeah.
I think he gave it. It wasn't. These are not acts of generosity.
He's the least hated person
exactly.
in his life.
Exactly.
Person, and he's his only male heir,
Right,
which means
right.
he's the only one who can even possibly be legally
That's
entitled.
so funny though.
Yeah.
I hate the Catholic Church, so your son, have at it.
Yeah. I didn't even want you. You were an inconvenience for most of my life.
My dad gave me everything. He couldn't give it to anybody else.
Literally.
That's why.
Exactly.
In 1802, Bernardo finally returned home to South America, now actually calling himself Bernardo O'Higgins. As a bastard, he had until now been using his mother's surname. For the next years, he lived his life as a rich landlord/farmer, and in 1806 was appointed to the Cabildo, Spanish Colonial Administrative Council in Chillán, as the representative of Lacha, the town where Las Canteras was located. From Sepulveda, quote, "It was in those days that he befriended one of his most important mentors, Juan Martinez de Rosas, a former aide to his father, and by then the most powerful man in southern Chile, and a strong force in colonial politics."
So he's just gonna become a mob boss.
He's
consolidating
the
power.
Nepotism is a bit reverberating here through.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's inherited all of the I guess the benefits of viceroy status with all of the wealth and the literal land.
Yeah.
And he's making moves with the second most powerful man in Chile or whoever.
Yep.
He's going to become a mob
But
boss.
he must have had, because I'm thinking, what time are we at now?
1802.
So in
1806, sorry.
1806, in 1798, that was our first big revolution in Ireland, and which we lost. So, and if his dad was born in Ireland, like that must have somehow rubbed off on him, because we had a huge revolution with Daniel O'Connell. Is where we get the O'Connell Street from. I know Daniel O'Connell, there's statues of him everywhere in South America. He was quite a big figure.
Okay,
Literally, he was like 6'5". He was.
This is
Bo Burnham height.
this is the Predator meme shaking hands.
Yeah.
the South Americans and the Irish just hanging.
Yeah, exactly. This one, I think. And
then the British Empire crumbling in the background.
just on fire.
The Irish are the Latin Americans of Europe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
And on a higher hierarchy level.
Yeah. All right. In 1808, Emperor Napoleon I. That guy again. Shout out to episode 3, yo. Yeah, check out episode 3,
Napoleon.
obviously. Yeah, Andreas Hofer's episode.
Yeah.
Napoleon I invaded Spain and put his bro Joe on the throne. With King...
Thank you, Ben.
Well done, Ben. With King Fernando, you clearly see that Ben had fun writing this too.
Yes.
With King Fernando VII in French captivity and Joseph Bonaparte as the new king of Spain, there was quite a bit of confusion throughout the Spanish Empire. Loyalist juntas were formed on the peninsula itself that contested Joseph's rule, while the colonies were widely unwilling to accept either the Frenchmen or the rebels fighting him as their new overlords. Hence, on 18th September 1810, a bunch of criollos, people of fully European descent born in Latin America, got together in Santiago and formed the Government Assembly of the Kingdom of Chile, a junta set to govern in the name of the imprisoned king. Although the original intention was for limited self-government until the rightful king could be restored, 18th September is now celebrated as Chile's Independence Day.
I did not really... okay, I will say one thing. In our history in Ireland, we don't really touch on Napoleon, which is quite bad because he had a huge impact on continental Europe.
Oh, yeah.
But we tend to do mostly it's our relationship with the British.
Drained the coffers of the British.
Yeah, but that, I mean, he had an enormous impact on South America as well, because if he didn't take Spain, then they wouldn't have started. I didn't know that.
Yeah, crazy, right?
How does a bastard orphan son of an 18-year-old and a really old man? My name is Bernardo O'Higgins. My name, but this is basically the same thing. He had a touch of the tar feather, is what they used to call Alexander Hamilton, because he was not half black, but I suppose this is a very similar situation.
Yes.
Here, where he's still in proximity to power despite having been born under less than ideal circumstances for the time.
The one part I think is odd is he chose the name O'Higgins.
Yeah.
So he named himself Bernardo O'Higgins.
But
that's just silly.
No,
really.
It is silly, but I think it makes sense if you're trying to be taken seriously by Europeans in a colonial environment.
Back then,
proximity to power, you know? It's like
if your name was Wang Wang back then, nobody would fucking listen to you.
But you know what though? Bernardo Murphy, Bernardo Ryan,
well, no, he wants
Bernardo Neal, McIntyre, like O'Higgins. It doesn't work with Bernardo. It sounds like an ice cream flavor. It just doesn't work. O'Higgins is a great name, but not with Bernardo.
What does it taste like? Abandonment issues mostly.
The secret ingredient is shame. I don't know.
No, I agree
the
that
shame rock from the Shame Rock Company.
Paul.
No, but I agree that the name sucks, but it's like his dad practiced under that name. He was the viceroy under that name. You're going to want that proximity to power. That's like
being a Roosevelt or something like that.
Exactly. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. It's the only reason you would keep it.
Quote: although all ports were now open to foreign trade, something the Spanish crown had forbidden, there were those who chafed at limited self-government and wanted complete independence, including Bernardo O'Higgins, who was elected as the deputy from Los Angeles to the First National Congress, whose creation he had advocated for. Opponents of the independence, the royalists who wanted Chile to return to royal rule, began to foment opposition to the Congress. This period of Chilean history is termed the Patria Vieja.
What does that mean?
Vieja means old, but I don't know what the first word means.
The patriarchy.
Patria, so fathership.
Old dad. So like his dad.
The old man. The rule of the old man. Or whatever. Yeah.
So it's like Bernie's dad.
And this quote was from Bonnie Hamre, Bernardo O'Higgins, Libertador de Chile, a red-haired Irish Chilean. All right.
Liberator of Chile.
However, Bernardo exerted little influence in the Congress, functioning as little more than a puppet of Martinez de Rosas, soon got sick again and pretty much disappeared from politics. Hey, I'm out, yo.
Oh my God, why do we keep ending up with these centrist ass bitches on our podcast?
I mean, at least he yeeted himself out before, like lining his coffers in unlimited times,
I guess, but I mean, okay, we need to see where this goes.
Ultimate power ultimately corrupts,
Yeah, but it's other people corrupting him. He's just sort of there because...
He's just the dude.
He's just a dude dude that just wants to fucking study French and I don't know, take dance classes.
He's doing this to further his like private studies.
Yeah, exactly.
He just couldn't stop learning.
His real addiction was knowledge.
He graduated from university and then transferred to to study hard knocks at the University of Life.
Quote, in the first year or so of the Chilean independence process, Martínez de Rosas and his party were in conflict with José Miguel Carrera, a hot-tempered young aristocrat who defied the establishment and claimed power for himself. So your classic strong man. Carrera and his two brothers were more radical than Martínez de Rosas in terms of leading the revolution. Soon, regional tensions between Santiago, Carrera's power base, and Concepción, de Rosas' hood, were impossible to overcome, and Martínez and Carrera were on the verge of war. Though O'Higgins put many of his peasants at the service of Concepción's army, Martínez awarded him only a minor military position, probably because of his illegitimate origin. O'Higgins' health became increasingly problematic, and by the end of 1812 he had abandoned everything and moved back to his estate.
Abandoned everything, so he was no longer interested in the independence movement.
I guess so, yeah.
He was like, screw that.
Yeah.
Because he had health issues.
All right, you know what? Another thing we don't know is anything that this man believes in.
Right.
We don't. I'm sorry.
For now.
No. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say like this sounds like his connection to revolution is tenuous at best. This really seems shallow because he's giving up on all this stuff easily. He's hopping from Che Guevara impersonator to one Che Guevara to another.
Right.
He cares about is his own comfort, which is understandable. But it's like, why are you masquerading as a dude who wants revolution?
Some people try. Like some people have more idealism in their mind than in their heart. You know.
I mean,
well, he was born in Chile. His dad's a foreigner. He spent time in Peru, and then he was educated in Spain.
Yeah, but in
always
privilege.
Always in this illegitimate kind of a way. So, you would question how much is his legitimacy for wanting Chile to be truly independent as a Chilean person, or is he just sort of like, this kind of seems, is he like TikTok? Is he just sort of thinks it's cool and wants to kind of start
just following the latest
just
trend?
Following it.
I was going to say
Bernardo
more
O'Higgins,
like a Barack Obama kind of situation where it's like, you know, you think he's going to be the change and everything, but he doesn't end up actually doing anything.
I mean, he hasn't drone strike the village yet. So
he hasn't drone strike the village yet, but his drone strikes some indigenous people.
Well, that is not his fault. Look, if Obama's daughter does the same thing.
Sasha Obama.
Sasha Obama.
Please.
Sasha Obama. All right.
Please, Sasha Malia, don't do anything bad.
Yeah, don't become president and bomb somebody. That would be nice.
Don't become president.
Carrera was in favor of a specifically Chilean nationalism, while the Rosas, O'Higgins, and their mates entertained broader visions of Latin American independence. While tensions were rising, the revolutionaries had to unite against an outside threat, as the Viceroy of Peru invaded Chile in 1813 to try and bring the country under monarchist Spanish rule again.
Okay.
So we're doing a little bit of warlordism.
Yeah, see, he's just a fucking mob boss, basically.
well, because an outside mob boss is trying to move in on your digs.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but then also, like, he had a broader understanding of Latin. How is that phrase? Latin American independence?
Yes.
Yeah.
But none of the other countries at this point really. It was only happening in Chile. Yeah, this guy's an opportunist.
Exactly.
Like, he doesn't.
And also, it's like, you're just throwing around buzzwords. What does that mean? What are you independent from, or what do you want to be independent
from the Spanish crown.
Yeah, but
and having to pay all. It's mostly probably, again, he's rich, so it's about money.
Yeah.
It's always about money.
There's no identity.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
here.
See, he's a fucking phony.
I'm sorry, guys. he seemed so cool. So
no, it's okay. It's okay.
Again, for the time, he seems still let's put it that way. I wouldn't mind having a drink with this gentleman.
Oh no,
as opposed to like the like anybody who's following the Spanish crown at that point.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a drink with this dude.
If he put some details of his life on Tinder, I would totally swipe right.
I want to just like journalistically, I'm curious to see.
Viceroy of Peru, like 6,000 kilometers away.
He's using Tinder passport. I'm on board, totally.
Blue blood.
Blue check mark.
Blue check mark and blue blood. No, but I would be curious journalistically just to, what he actually thinks, because so far we have yet to have a direct quote from this man.
Is he married? He's no love life at this point.
Not that we know of.
And that's quite... He's gay.
He's gay.
Yes.
He's gay.
Yes.
Because, I'm sorry.
Daddy issues and gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he keeps doing.
That's a classic. I'm not getting married.
He has also too much money to have to worry about getting married.
And Irish and Chilean mix. My God, he'd be hot.
Well, you can see
look
what
at him.
he looks like.
He's a really good-looking gentleman for the time.
I hate the sideburns.
I mean, that is the style of the time.
Yeah.
That is the bangs of the time. Is sideburns, and his blue eyes are oof.
Yeah, he does.
That's especially in Chile with blue eyes like that. You're fucking pulling.
Yeah. That's why I want to go there. I thought stunning. I'd look great in a burqa. Lovely eyes. Got beautiful blue eyes.
To wear burqa in Chile.
Just because I know you don't
You'd
wear
be
burqa
the only one.
But no, just because it makes your eyes strike.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? I know you don't have to wear burqa in Chile.
Yeah. Especially you don't have to wear burqa.
Oh yeah, sorry, I don't have to wear burqa anywhere. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Bernardo had never received any formal military training.
And he's a fake fucking fan.
But Irish-born Colonel John McKenna, now known as Juan McKenna, another acquaintance of the late Don Ambrosio, helped him out with advice in military tactics, mainly on the use of cavalry. So when word of the invasion reached Bernardo, he mobilized the local Huasos, cowboys, shout out to episode 5, yeehaw, and peasants, and marched to Concepcion and then on to Talca, where he met with Carrera, who was to lead the Chilean Patriot Army. Quote, "Now, the war was for real. This was no longer a war between Chileans and Spaniards, but rather a civil confrontation between Chileans who did not recognize any authority from Lima and Chileans who supported Lima, aided by fresh troops from Peru and some Spanish-born officers."
So this is where you're starting to get a mix. You're starting to get people who want to be independent, people who want Chile to go back to the crown, people who don't want Chile to be invaded by Peru.
Yeah.
We're cruising towards civil war territory.
Yeah. That seems like it's gonna go only one way.
Yeah. After victory at Linares, Bernardo was promoted to colonel. From July to August, the revolutionaries unsuccessfully laid siege to Chilean, which was held by royalists through a particularly cold winter. Carrera's failure to take the city weakened his support in the revolutionary junta, while Bernardo's reckless acts of bravery began earning him some fame. So the man...
Are they going to go into detail about what acts of bravery?
We'll see. Then on 17th October 1813, Bernardo fought under Carrera's command in the Battle of El Roble. When the former fled, Coronel O'Higgins took command and allegedly gave the famous order we started this episode with. The quote at the beginning?
Oh yeah, the "follow me."
Yes. That was his Independence Day speech. We won't go silently into the night.
Yeah. Wait, can we read the quote
again? We won't
again?
give up the fight. Yes, of course.
How does it go again?
Can we pause it and watch Independence Day?
Vivir con honor or morir con gloria. El que sea valiente que me siga. Live with honor or die with glory. He who is brave, follow me.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. Did you understand that it was Spanish now?
Yes, now I've understood.
The man is though, like, I think like he's the Yeet Lord a little bit. He's just like, yeah, let's just do this. Like, come on, guys.
I see him as being Sylvester Stallone in any disaster movie. Like, he's just sort of is going around yelling instructions at people, but with no kind of merit whatsoever.
Exactly.
But it all sort of works out.
And also, again, he is Irish.
Yeah,
I know.
faking it till he makes it, basically.
But he probably has a Chilean Spanish accent.
And it's
so
by the picture, it's like epically ginger. So I think no matter what he said, he would have people's attention. At least.
But then he says, "Hola." Like,
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
He's still super clunky with it.
Tengo un problema con este país.
Por favor.
Wait, read that quote again, but like you with an Irish accent.
No, I can't do it.
Wait, no, have Shane read it.
Okay, where is it? You want me to read it?
Right at the top.
Vivir con honor o morir con gloria. El que sea valiente, que me siga.
Nice.
Yeah, he's all right, lads. You ready?
That's as far as I'm concerned, that's exactly what it sounded like.
I would be so pumped.
That would be
to
so
kill some royalists.
I feel galvanized to kill some royalists. So good.
I like to imagine that he said it with that exact same like indifference.
Oh shit.
These are not real words.
Well, that's how much. No, the vibes I get are Rick from season 5 of Rick and Morty, where it's revealed that spoilers for Rick and Morty, but it's revealed that he only like fought in the fucking revolution, whatever, because it was fun.
Right, yeah.
That's literally what this is for this guy. He's literally Rick from Rick and Morty. Same amount of daddy issues. Same amount of no family.
Winning a surprising victory with a cavalry charge and chasing the royalists from the field despite being injured, the junta in Santiago took command of the army away from Carrera and gave it to Bernardo. Yeah, because he fucking did a thing. He actually did a thing, and they're like, all right, good, let's encourage this.
He said different words than the words that Bernie said.
Yeah. Who appointed... so Bernardo appoints Juan McKenna as commandant general. Carrera formally gave command of the army into O'Higgins' hands when they met in Concepcion. But shortly afterwards, en route to Santiago, Carrera was captured by royalist forces and imprisoned in Chillán. Fuck. Quote, Thus the road to victory was opened up for O'Higgins and his supporters. The war, a savage campaign fought mostly by poor peasants in rags with no option but to fight alongside their landlords, had left the land exhausted. No money, no food, no stock to feed the thousands of men in arms. Both sides signed a treaty by the Leeroy River in May 1814 to end hostilities. O'Higgins was one of the signatories. In his prison cell, Carrera cursed him.
Oh, so, but what were the terms of the treaty?
Well,
good question.
The Truce Treaty of Leeroy, signed on 3rd May, contained 16 articles, but its only practical effect was an end to the fighting and an exchange of prisoners, thus setting José Miguel Carrera free once more. Carrera hated the treaty and the men who signed it, and in July 1814 he staged a coup. As the new ruler, he had McKenna exiled to Mendoza in Argentina. Bernardo now marched on Santiago to fight Carrera. Classic infighting.
Well, okay, I guess the treaty was like, should we just
stop? Let's not do this now.
Do you want to like not do this?
Again, they're running out of, both sides are running out of manpower, you have shortages everywhere. And the thing is too,
Bernie's name isn't anywhere.
Back then you don't really have the French are really good at one thing in that time period, and that's running a supply train.
Speaking of
everybody else is really bad at it.
Yeah, everyone else is really bad at it because they're actually doing stuff, and unlike our guy in this actual...
So the French will become bad at that as well when they invade Russia, because then they overstretch their supply lines as well. But back then, so what you would do with your army is you would just raid the countryside. So if you're fighting regionally took too long, what would happen is you wouldn't miss one sowing season, you would miss 1, 2, or 3. And then all of a sudden those stockpiles that your farmers traditionally keep for 2 years or something like that for a bad period, those are gone now. So everybody starts starving. Yeah, not just the poor and the farmers. Everybody starts starving. And it's also not like, oh, we're gonna have food tomorrow. Nope, you're gonna start eating each other. You know, like that's normally the outcome of something like that. When I read something like that, normally in history books, cannibalism is right around the corner.
Yep.
So that's why they wanted to stop the fighting.
Cannibalism or make Chile great again, baseball cards. I think
Chile con jamón carne, like it's just a dude in the carne.
I just you know who definitely wasn't starving though?
Oh yeah.
You know who
all of those rich assholes are not starving.
Including the
Bernardo,
protagonist of this fucking episode. Because he's not doing shit. He's not doing any part of this.
He's just raised an army now to go to Santiago.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see.
Will you stop being so anti-Bernardo? He's great.
This guy. why.
You're just happy that it's not a complete shithead.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely convinced that he's not that.
I mean, I'm not convinced he's a good person, but he's starting to do stuff now.
Yeah, now he's starting to do stuff now,
All right.
unlike everyone else who was doing stuff.
So he's about to fight Carrera,
His former
the
friend.
model car company.
Yeah, for someone who is all about bravery, he's not really the one doing a lot of the bravery himself. He gets an army. He gets someone else to do that for him.
At least he learned militarism from
McKenna, the guy who's now in Mendoza.
Yeah, exactly. So at least he's like, he's not
the artist formerly known as John.
Also, sorry, if you have an Irish military man and you want to punish him, you don't exile him to like the best place in South America for red wine. Do you know what I mean? That's like they took the Irish prisoners and sent them to Bordeaux. Well, that was bloody stupid, wasn't it?
Oh no! Like the Irish, have to fake it.
That's like
the cruelty.
I'm suffocating inside this palace.
It's like in a modern day, like all those conservative Americans have been like they arrested all the drag queens and sent them to Disneyland.
No, it's like what they did to Jordan Belfort, where they just put him in like a luxury prison or something.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Quote: They clashed in the infamous and often forgotten Battle of Tres Arces, where O'Higgins was defeated by José's brother Luis Carrera, though he suffered only minor losses. While he was preparing to attack Carrera the next day, O'Higgins received a message. The Treaty of Lequay had been ignored by the Viceroy, and a powerful army of professional soldiers fresh from Lima, as well as volunteers from Chile's southern and staunchly royalist provinces of Chiloé and Valdivia, had disembarked in Talcahuano, a few kilometers from Concepcion. Carrera always thought that O'Higgins had some sort of secret agreement with the Chilean royalists in order to attack him. But the Viceroy, who saw all supporters of independence as dangerous revolutionaries, did not make any distinctions. The two men decided to put an end to their differences and prepare to battle the enemy, led now by a new royalist leader, General Mariano Osorio. It was a weak alliance. O'Higgins agreed to renounce his position as army commander and serve under Carrera. Preparations for the mother of all battles followed. The army was in a disastrous condition. Tres Arces had destroyed most of the cannons. Carrera raised a group of neophyte recruits, who in the space of a few weeks became officers. Most of the veterans had already died or deserted.
Can I talk my shit again? This guy fucking sucks. He's not even good at it. At the shit he's trying to do.
Also, how interesting that he received a letter, because that's thanks to his dad.
Yeah.
Going back to the beginning, innit? That's quite good. You wouldn't have got that letter if it wasn't for your dad.
Yeah.
Every time he releases
Every time he reads a letter,
he
like,
just starts crying. He's like,
Dad. He didn't invent a mail line from the other world, did he?
He invented the mail line just so that he could ship you somewhere else within 3 to 5 business days.
So wait, Bernardo O'Higgins joined now with Carrera. They were fighting each other, and now they've joined again.
It was a classic, the
enemy of
Freedom
the enemy
Front of Israel and the Israeli Freedom
the People's Front of
exactly.
Is it like the enemy of the enemy is my friend?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And but also they are still like both of Carrera and O'Higgins are both independence movement guys.
Yeah.
They just hate each other.
I see. For petty reasons?
Petty-ish reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was a bit unclear.
Yeah, because Carrera wasn't happy with the treaty.
This is very similar to Irish history in our treaty. We had two.
The Irish only won when the infighting kind of stopped.
Well, kind of in a way. Like we had monarchists and stuff, and then someone signed a treaty, and the treaty was where you get the north and south of Ireland, and then one side. The side split because they were like, we don't want the treaty, we do want the treaty, and then a civil war kind of ensued. In fact, I think this is a story quite similar in most countries. It's almost like the villain knows that they're going to lose, so you split you Yoko Ono them. You know the band is going to break up.
Yeah, you have to divide and conquer, if you will. You know, if separate them. It's like when you're in a horror movie where they make everyone. We should split up, you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Except it benefits nobody.
And you check on the basement, black guy.
Well,
Chilean.
It seems like something that Bernardo would ask them to do, seeing as the bravery being exuded is not from him. I'm not going to stop harping on that point.
Yeah. All right. Bernardo and Jose couldn't even agree on where to face the enemy. O'Higgins opted for the town of Rancagua, 90 kilometers south of Santiago, an important strategic location that had not yet been touched by the war. Carrera instead wanted to draw the royalists into a natural bottleneck south of Rancagua, but as there was no time to fortify the location, Carrera's brother Juan Jose agreed with Bernardo. The Spanish army arrived in Rancagua on 1st of October, not long after Bernardo's forces.
So, I'm sorry, real quick question. What authority does Bernardo have in making military decisions like this, aside from just funding them? Because it doesn't sound like he has any military education.
Oh, no. He learned everything from McKenna.
Basically.
Who's now off his tits in Mendoza drinking all the
But
wine.
also, literally, before that, the quote was, most of the veterans had already died or deserted.
So it's just
He
him.
hung around. That is good enough.
Damn.
Yeah, he was there.
If everybody in the world of the blind, the one-eyed is king, and in this case, he kind of at least knows like what tactics are, as opposed to everybody else who's dead.
I feel like it's just like politics. It's like, what makes you a politician? Because I'm running for election. Like that's kind of just. Also, how funny. There are two choices. One is a strategic bottleneck. The other one has not been touched by the war. In a war-ravaged country.
Yeah, he's like,
so let's pick that place. Brilliant,
let's
man.
fuck this place up, bro. He's such a party, bro. He's like, he's treating it like the British are treating Mallorca. It's just like, party.
We're going to Ibiza.
Yeah, he's doing an Ibiza right now. Yeah.
I hear there's one place that hasn't been wrecked by the war. Maybe we should go there and wreck it by the war. Okay.
You're a genius.
Okay.
All right. Quote, Osorio's forces were highly superior. The Patriot forces held on for 2 days until the Royalists decided to set fire to the city. O'Higgins desperately called for Jose Miguel Carrera's division, still north of Rancagua, but Carrera either betrayed O'Higgins or O'Higgins did not understand the coded message Carrera sent him. From the bell tower of Rancagua's church, O'Higgins saw Carrera's division advancing and then turning around and leaving. No, where are you going, guys? No!
Have you seen the meme where it's like the TikTok meme where it's the guy that's like so close to mining for diamonds, but then he gives up? Yeah. That's O'Higgins.
Yeah.
I love that O'Higgins.
99% of gamblers stop right before
they're gonna hit big.
Yeah.
I love that O'Higgins didn't understand the coded message. In my brain, I'm like, it was in Spanish. He's like, wait, what?
How good was his Spanish? It doesn't sound like his Spanish
it
good.
was like a child's drawing.
An emoji just held up.
Gun emoji, sweaty eyes emoji. Yeah.
Question mark, but 2 question marks because it's in Spanish.
Oh, the reverse one?
Yes, exactly. War? Question mark?
Carrera claimed that in the coded message he had told O'Higgins to leave, and as he approached the town, he believed that he was leading his men to certain death. O'Higgins maintained that Carrera had compromised his forces by leaving. All right.
Well,
petty bitches.
Kind of doesn't sound like he's wrong though. He kind of did compromise them by leaving.
I think you compromised really. I compromised your forces. Yes. How do you know? Well, you left. So you were not there.
Yeah.
You were in charge of leading them.
You fucking stood us up on our war date.
War date.
You ghosted me, dog.
I kind of think this is your fault. Why? Because you're supposed to lead and you were not there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So good. So fucking good. Though the battle was a complete disaster and O'Higgins and Carrera would never talk to each other again, Bernardo managed to escape with they were lovers. If we are talking gay storyline,
they're just dumb gay lovers.
That would be a perfect gay lover storyline, right?
Also, sorry, can you? That is so like
Come over here.
No, you come over here.
Yeah.
The war was a complete disaster. They lost all their territory. The town was completely destroyed. Millions of people died. But at the end, they're like, I'm not speaking to you.
Yeah.
No, I'm done. I'm done with this.
I'm done with this dumb bitch.
They're just...
John, I'm going to ghost you so bad.
All right.
Just like we ghosted all the people in that town.
Made everyone ghost. Oh, God.
Self-ghost.
Self-ghost.
Yeah, but I love that's the last that, and they never spoke to each other again. You're like, that's not as bad as anything else that's just happened.
Bernardo, so yeah.
9/11 happened, but it's also the year the Spice Girls broke up. I don't know. I don't think that's true, but like, you know what I mean.
Bernardo managed to escape with a few of his men, allegedly issuing the command, "Those who can ride, ride. We will break through the enemy."
Except they don't do that, though.
He's such a yeet lord. Well, Santiago was captured by the royalists and Spanish rule re-established. O'Higgins, Carrera, and thousands of other patriots managed to escape along almost unpassable tracks across the snow-covered Andes to Mendoza in independent Argentina.